Hello everyone, welcome to the Women Engineering Turkey Section's Women Empowerment Summit 2020. My name is Kaydan Büyüktanır and I am the Vice Chair of IEEE Women in Engineering Turkey's Affinity Group. Today, our moderator will be Tuncer Baykaş. I will give the word to him. He is the IEEE Turkey Section Vice Chair. I'll give the word to you, Mr. Tuncer.
Thank you very much, Kardan. So we have a great honor today to host Sampath Veeraraghavan. Hi, Sampath again. So he is the IEEE Special Interest Group on Humanitarian Technology Site Global Chairman, and he serves as an expert in the Broadband Communication Working Group on School Connectivity that is co-chaired by UNESCO and UNICEF and ITU. And also he is the founder of and the president of the technology-based humanitarian program, the Brahman. And he works in Boston, a company some of you may know called Amazon. So Sampath, thank you very much for joining us and welcome to IEEE Turkey.
Yeah. Thank you, Tuncer, and thank you, Ms. Gordon, for inviting. Pretty excited to be here. Greetings, everyone. First of all, many congratulations to the Turkey Women in Engineering Group for organizing this important summit. I think women leaders are very, very critical, in fostering and advancing the larger mission of IEEE. So I have been a Women in Engineering member for several years, and I'm really, really thrilled to be here, as I got benefited through mentoring and great partnership with several key women leaders throughout my career, as well as to my volunteering experience. So with that said, my sincere appreciation to the Turkey section for supporting the volunteers towards organizing this wonderful event. So with that said, we'll quickly move on to the session, and let me go ahead and share the screen. Okay, so let me know, are you able to see it? Tuncer, are you able to see my screen?
I can.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so I think my talk today will, themed on breaking barriers through social innovation. So primarily, what I would like to focus for the next 40 minutes is to actually make the audience to be aware of what are the pressing humanitarian and sustainable development challenges, how these challenges provides a clear opportunity to drive engineering and social innovation, and primarily to touch upon how engineers and technologists must engage in this kind of programs, which in a nutshell provides them to drive innovation to deliver impactful social programs. So with that said, few topics that I will be covering specifically in today's talk is to give you an overview about the overview of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, and then we'll also look into some of the reasonings what we have heard from engineers and technologists, why they are involved in sustainable development programs. And thirdly, as a case study, we will specifically will take some of the social innovation that's happening using technologies, emerging technologies like artificial intelligence. And then we will take a site as an example and see how what kind of opportunity that is available for our members. And finally, I want to conclude with showing you how you can engage, the audience can engage in these programs, and how you can benefit from these programs. And then probably the last 5 to 10 minutes I will reserve for question and answer. Okay. So with that said, let's take a first look at the UN Sustainable Development Programs. So United Nation, has identified there are 17, universal goals. In a nutshell, these goals basically are formulated by identifying the grandest challenges faced in the planet, and then categorizing all these challenges, humanitarian and sustainable challenges, across 17 different categories. This 17 different categories basically has a particular goal and a mission that they wanted to achieve by 2030, by the year 2030. So let's talk about why it is important to address these goals actually. Okay. So out of the 17 goals, you can see here, we are talking about here poverty, eliminating poverty, eliminating, hunger, and providing good quality access to water, electricity, and cooking technologists, and even to connect the unconnected, digitally unconnected to the internet. So there are all this 17 goals here is a reflective of not only the global, is a global pattern, but it's also one thing that's common across here is that this is a reflective of the issues faced at the grassroots level. So achieving these goals in a nutshell provides a blueprint to build a better future, by 2030. What it means is that then it means that we are going to actually develop a inclusive, culture or inclusive community by involving everybody, taking everybody together and progressing towards a peaceful and a prosperity community in a more sustainable manner by 2030. Now, one thing to be aware here is all these goals are interconnected. For example, if you are providing good quality education, you can create wonderful students, technologists, doctors, and all of these people in turn will put their skill sets to address some of the challenging SDGs goals. For example, maybe engineers come with a good technology which can be leveraged by by farmers, which in turn can help to increase the food security and the food yield, which can basically address the goals related to achieving zero hunger and so forth. So with what is really important at this point is, in addition to these goals, with the pandemic situation what we are all facing this year, it even more make it more important and more relevant to focus on address these goals collectively, everyone collectively as a team. So as I said, some important humanitarian problem which we have been which have been highlighted in the UN, both in the UN leadership and also pretty much I would say in the sustainability space. Pretty much people are focusing right now. How do you tackle the energy crisis? How do you provide good quality transportation, so that everybody can be connected and we can improve on the infrastructure, climatic change, clean water, natural resource management, and numerous others. So all these different problem which have been identified by the local players clearly are falling into the 17 categories of the goals what we spoke in the earlier slide. Now let's talk about in general technologists and engineers are very data driven. So in a nutshell, that means that that means we really need facts and data to show, hey, is it worth investing our time or not, right? So if you look here, primarily how significant are these development challenges, right? I mean, if you take a quick snap at here, nearly about 1/4 of Earth's planet population still don't have access to quality water, actually, right? And more than 700 million people are still living under extreme poverty, and they are not able to meet their ends on a daily basis. And 1/3 of world's food is wasted, and around close to a billion people are undernourished. And then, about 600 million children and young adults lag minimum proficiency in reading and mathematics. And 3 billion people still lag clean cooking fuels and technologies, and about 4 billion people are yet to be connected to the internet. These kinds of challenges are the grandest challenges, right? Think about the possibility of solving them, right? The impact that we can create, the social impact we can create, the not only by solving this problem you're creating the social impact, and it also, like, in a way, in a nutshell, is going to create more opportunities, which in turn is going to help us to create a better future by providing quality economic development activity. So in a nutshell, by solving all these goals related to the 17 SDGs, there is a potential to generate up to 12 billion 12 trillion dollar US dollar market space. In a nutshell, that means it's going to result in creation of about roughly about 400 million new jobs by 2030, right? So if the parents have a a good paying job, then the high probability is that it's going to help the family. An example here, where in some countries the children are also subjected to child labor, and those things can be like eliminated, right? So that's why it's pretty significant, and that's why this particular data point shows clearly as that this is the time for action. And as a technologist, as an engineer, that all of us should see how best we could leverage our technical skills to solve some of these greatest challenges. The next slide. So why you must engage in humanitarian activities, right? Let's talk about that. You can see here there's a very interesting correlation between society, the science, technology, and then how they are interconnected, right? So in a nutshell, this humanitarian and sustainable activity is nothing but basically like it provides the technologists to work on the intersection of technology, needs of the people, or the needs of the community, and then basically like product, right? The innovation actually, right? So when these three elements come together, it results in what we call it as humanitarian engineering. In a nutshell, you are delivering value, and that value is primarily towards the social impact, right? So the first thing you can see in this diagram here is that need of the humans actually, right? I mean, that drives the innovation, right? A classical example here, it drives the innovation not only for science but also for engineering, right? So that's the fundamental catalyst which is driving innovation. So if you look here carefully, I think for 10 months back, if somebody came and told you that a mask, the face mask is going to be one of the most important thing in a household, all of us, we never expected that, right? Because we didn't know about we are going to hit a pandemic, and we would have thought maybe this is one of the least preferred item in the household, right? But then the pandemic happened, and then the mask become even more critical than any other thing in the household, right? Sanitizers and so forth, right? So I think all this pandemic and all the challenges of the needs of the emerging needs of the humanity always provides absolute opportunity for creative solution formulation, right? For example, people come out creatively, putting robotic solutions where they could dispense sanitation solutions to the local community, right? So these are use cases which emerged based on the emerging needs of the local community. Secondly, in general, the fun part of working on this program is that you directly interface with a local community, and you try to understand their needs, and you primarily work backwards from the needs of those community, right? So in a nutshell, if you are a technologist, if you are an engineer, now you start thinking beyond your technical horizon. You are interfacing with multiple stakeholders, right? And you are thinking from different dimensions here, right? How will the solution will be leveraged by my user? How the solution has to be compliant with the local regulations, the governmental regulations, and so forth. So again, if you are a student, this is going to be a definitely a path breaking program for you, because now you have been exposed not only to leverage your technical skill, but you are also getting all these important leadership skills to broaden your knowledge, broaden your technical skills, and getting you ready for onboard to industry. Thirdly, any solution you deliver here, it's basically more satisfying at a personal level, because not only you are bringing in smiles of this marginalized population. In a nutshell, you being the change maker here, and you're trying to create more catalyst per marginalized population. So not only you are touching the life, but you are positively influencing to the better future of the local community. The third thing here is, I would say, I mean, this programs also, provides a better channel, acts as a better channel to attract young students and young engineers to involve towards the field of engineering. And also the beauty here is, if you are from a particular engineering stream, it's not limiting, right? You can still collaborate with others. You can learn new technical skills and leadership skills, and you can expand on it. In a nutshell, by involving in technologists involving in humanitarian activity, it provides a complete package of benefits for them, in terms of skill development, in terms of greater purpose contribution, in terms of being a better global citizen. Okay, so let's now look. Okay, so far we looked up the landscape. So the next 10 minutes, maybe we'll take an emerging technology and see how these emerging technologies can be leveraged for social innovation. Now, the sample case study I would like to take here is about artificial intelligence. As you all know, artificial intelligence is nothing but it's a branch of computer science, and the idea here is to actually create systems which can emulate human intelligence. Now, taking a look here, like artificial intelligence is primarily like imbibed in any of the solutions that you work to, any product that you work today, any technology that you work today. It's almost there, right? For example, if you are driving and you are putting your destination address, you are leveraging Google Maps. So behind the shows, there are machine learning models which is actually helping you to do the best route. Is helping to select the best route to reach your destination. If you're doing an online shopping, say in Amazon, chances are there that there are some machine learning models which is actually like giving you, based on your interaction, it's trying to give you the best personalized experience in terms of what more, what products are relevant to you. Similarly, if you're watching a movie in a Netflix, so basically like based on your recent usage, some background AI system is helping you to select relevant movies that you like to see on. So there are many different use cases of artificial intelligence that basically has completely changed the way we today interact, we think, we live and collaborate. Now the question now is, although we have an amazing technological advancement, we still are living in an era where we have millions of people living below the poverty, and still people are struggling with the access to healthcare and a good water facility and education and so forth, which we saw in the earlier slide. So the question now is, how do we leverage the power of transformative emerging technology, and how can we amplify and how can we leverage this technology to solve these grander challenges, and in a nutshell amplify the social impact, so that's what we are going to see here. Some examples here. So just to give a high level 10,000 feet overview, I think within artificial intelligence field, there are several subfields. So machine learning is actually like one interesting core capability for AI systems. So the idea here is basically you can create a smart system using machine learning algorithms. In a nutshell, you kind of like train, you teach your system, you train your system to learn from any data that you provide to it, and based on that, the system is smart enough to make an inference out of it. Okay, this is little different from the way you typically write a program. In a program, it's very explicit, right? You teach the software to say that these are the instruction, if this instructions happens, these are the set of actions you are making. Here you are just like just like a teacher teaching a student. You are training a model, and the model then leverages its experience and expertise to then make some generalized or personalized recommendations. Okay, and deep learning is one of the one of the more powerful capability to create some advanced AI models based on artificial neural network. Now, with that said, let's see like some classical examples and see like some of the other interesting techniques which is available under AI for social good. So on the right, you can see that some of the broader spectrum falling under the humanitarian and sustainable development programs. An example here could be like a disaster response when something like an earthquake or flood happens. How can you? I mean, what kind of technology we could leverage? Digital healthcare, right? And supporting refugees, providing elderly care, mapping vulnerable communities. There are several use cases along the 17 SDGs. We can see here primarily some examples here. And on the left side, you can see some of the very famous techniques that we could leverage. For example, computer vision is nothing but you are providing the capability for a computing system to actually take photographs and videos and tries to generate meaningful inferences from it, right? I don't know how many of you have I'm sure most of you have been into airport where you go through a scanner, right? So when you do the scanning, your package is basically screened, right? And the screener, basically, if you see there will be a security official who will be looking at the various images. In a nutshell, where what happens there is the computer vision actually helps to identify what are the contents of your baggage, and in a nutshell, it helps the security official to identify if there's any threat objects that you're carrying on. So this is a good example of computer vision. And again, if you have x-rays, if you are taking MRI scans and so forth, there are automated machine learning systems which can actually look through some patterns of tumor and see how they could provide an early intervention. We'll talk more about the other examples as we talk a little bit more about the field-wise application of AI. But in a nutshell, this emerging technology has been so powerful that it's been now expanding its horizons across several critical SDG spectrum here. And again, some other examples to be aware of here. I think what is really important here is it's with respect to AI in general, we need some quality data, good computing infrastructure, and we need to measure the success of these programs. And of course, for any user, you wanted to make sure that there is a ease of access, and it's very simplified in terms of usage. Now let's talk about some examples which are relevant to the current pandemic situation. So typically what happens, you can see a small life cycle here which is shown below. So you collect a set of data, and then you basically like clean up and prepare the data, and using the data you create machine learning models or AI models. You train the model with the data, and once the data, I mean the model has been trained, you evaluate the performance of the model using some kind of test data. And finally, if you're satisfied with the performance of that model, then you encompass that particular model into either into a into a system, which can be a software system or it can be a hardware system, and so forth. And then you continuously try to improve on it. Now, with respect to the COVID situation, one of the bigger challenges that every country has faced is basically like understanding the needs of the local community, because of the mobility restrictions, people are not able to go out, right? So that means we still need to have a mechanisms to understand their needs, and make sure that we'll be in a position to provide the critical daily resources, for example water, mask, medical supplies, food, whatever it is, right? So I mean, one way is like it's going to be human intensive if it's going to put several people on the ground to go it. I mean, there are ways you can create a smart system in order to understand these needs, and then to model the demand and supply. So that's where I think many countries, in many countries the governments have leveraged artificial intelligence systems in a nutshell to understand the prevalence pattern of the outbreak, how many are being diagnosed, and what are the travel history, and and roll out meaningful localized programs to contain the spread of this pandemic. So this is one glittering example how the needs of the local community here were helpful in formulating novel innovation, social innovations, in a nutshell, which was helping in a nutshell it was helping to address one of the critical issues facing during the pandemic time. Let's talk about AI for healthcare. Now, as I said earlier, we touched upon about computer vision a little bit. So, in a nutshell, these are techniques which help us to, leverage the visual information contained in a photo or video to generate valuable inferences. In general, there are several, opportunities or use case where I think we could leverage, artificial intelligence within the healthcare spectrum. One is basically like, early intervention, diagnosis, treatment, and prevention. Typically these are four major applications I would call out. As I said earlier, if you can have a bunch of MRI scan, I mean, then I think that can be fed into an automated AI system, which may be able to show the soft tumors, and that will help both the patient and the doctor to start an early intervention program much earlier. And lastly, conversational AI is getting really adapted now, and few conversational AI like Alexa, I would say, are now provide capabilities for healthcare use cases. So it's definitely like the role of AI in healthcare is ever expanding, and it's it's getting even more important, and it's effectively been leveraged across the board right now. I'm not going to go deep here, but think about another possibility how AI can be used for education, right? So one way to do is like if you can identify through satellite images, where the local schools are connected. That's a good way to see how we could establish meaningful program to connect the unconnected, right? Maybe we want to help the local school to connect to the internet, and then the idea is to provide various educational resources to help them, right? That's one possibility there. And then the another interesting area is that AI has been increasingly used in agriculture. For example, if you could combine AI with the Internet of Things, in a nutshell, you can put a lot of IoT sensors on the field, and you can collect variable data that's emerging from these IoT sensors, which will help us to better know about the soil conditions, what kind of crops are suitable, and see how we can help the farmers to maximize their yield. In a nutshell, contribute towards the larger goal of eliminating hunger, holistically. So so it's not only that these are complex technology, but I think now we are finding ways that we could empower our marginalized people across the globe with the right tool and right model to foster local capacity building. Okay, so I think we spoke about all these things. So basically, like, this is an example of an emerging technology, how it's being effectively used to drive social innovation. What makes the AI more relevant in the use cases what we have discussed is that the scale of the problem. We are talking about millions of people, and we are talking about millions of data points, and we really need technology which can scale at at will, and will, in a nutshell, will effectively will help us to address these pressing challenges. And as we called out earlier, I mean, it's really provide a opportunity for creative solution formulation. I mean, the humanitarian engineering programs, and in a nutshell, it is helping us to showcase this technologies to attract students and young professionals to involve in humanitarian engineering programs. Okay, so before we discuss further, I think there are a few things that we have to do as a technologist. One is responsible use of any technology in humanitarian programs, right? So here you are working with a community. So the goal is you want to make sure you work backwards truly from the needs of the community. But also it's important to make sure that your system, you do some kind of measures, you make sure some kind of measures are in place, so that you are there is a we are able to validate our system for bias and negative experiences. For example, if you train a AI model with only a subset of data pertaining to a complete set of community users, then it's not a reflective, right? So that means your system may give inferences or make recommendations favoring certain categories of people. We have to make sure that that's not the case, right? And again, anytime you're dealing with data information to the end community users, you have to make sure your system is robust and secure. That means you encrypt the data, you put right privacy and security measures in place. So finally, it is the responsibility as a true engineer to make sure if there are any negative experiences that's emerging because of your system, you want to make sure that those aspects are clearly addressed. Okay, and most importantly, before you even solve any problem, think about the alternative. No, what is available, and what is the cost, and is it even relevant to put a complex technology into action, or maybe all you need is a simple solution which can be readily like developed or leveraged, right? And again, you need to clearly have a set of measures to make sure that you are able to measure the progress of your success of your program. And most importantly, make sure that that there is no negative experience or negative impact. If so, ensure that you are transparent about it, and you are taking mitigation, you are putting right mitigation measures to address them at the grassroots level. Okay, so far we spoke about the wide spectrum about the sustainable development space, why we need to involve. We looked into some emerging technologies, some examples, some best practices. Let's now talk about how you could involve one, how you could contribute, and what are the opportunities that IEEE as a global organization is providing. Okay, so I represent here as the global chair of the SIGHT steering committee. SIGHT stands for Special Interest Group and Humanitarian Technology, as many of you may know. So in a nutshell, this is a global program, and which empowers our IEEE volunteers at grassroots level to put the technical skills and to partner with the local non-profit organizations or local players and local communities to collectively collaborate and understand the needs of the local community, and then come with technical solutions to address the challenges. Okay, so uh, in a nutshell, this strongly aligns with the larger mission of IEEE, which is to foster technological innovation to benefit humanity. And SIGHT is part of our larger, is part of the larger board committee called as IEEE Humanitarian Activities Committee, which we'll talk in a few seconds. But here, a quick snapshot about how this is a world-class program, right, in sustainable development. So SIGHT, as you can see here, we have a very strong membership base, and in fact, I'm pretty delighted in the last 2 years under my leadership. SIGHT has grown almost by 200%. So we started from 4,800 members in February 2019, and we reached over 10,000 members last year. And this year, we again have broken the record, and we have reached about 11,000 members globally. So I am really, really proud of this amazing set of volunteers throughout the globe who are contributing and bringing in change in the local community. And we roughly added about 54 site groups last year. So bringing us close to 172 site groups. And one of the benefit of being part of the site group is the projects. So last year we received about 75 projects from all our site groups, and we supported 21. We funded 21 of them, and this year we received close to 250 proposals, and we have funded more than 100. So this talks about the scale. I mean, site today is truly a world class program. And this is basically like is probably one of the fastest growing program in the sustainable development space within IEEE. And I am really excited to deliver this kind of growth and bar raising performance for site as the global chair for the last 2 years. Okay, now we talked about how this program is a truly is a global program. Like this is how the site as a program is fitting into various strategic goals of IEEE. Maybe in the next few slides we'll deep dive that, but at a high level there is a strong a strong perfect alignment between site HAC efforts with the larger IT larger IEEE efforts here. Okay, let's specifically talk about what kind of values we are offering, right? So you can see here, primarily there are six elements we are offering here. The first one is we provide training and awareness, right? I mean, if you are a student, if you're a young professional, you want to learn the skills to drive a sustainable development programs. We provide you the online workshops, we provide you in-person workshops. We also provide a digital content in our IEEE learning network, where you can learn the art of designing and delivering this program from end-to-end standpoint, right? Secondly, professional development. As I said earlier, not only you are putting your technical skill into action, you get to work with multiple stakeholders. That's far most important here. Thirdly, there's a greater purpose here, right? I mean, as an individual, you have the self-satisfaction of contributing to a larger cause, bringing in positive change in the life of people, marginalized people. Okay. Fourthly, we also provide project funding. We fund from between $1,000 to $20,000 in our regular cycle. With COVID, we funded up to $5,000 per project. Thirdly, connection and community. We provide a massive opportunity to network with our volunteers spread across all the 110 countries. Lastly, sustainable development community. So I think in a nutshell, by providing this kind of grassroots efforts, we are in turn contributing directly to achieving the sustainable development goals, right? Because our members are now putting their efforts, and their efforts are again correlating back to the aggregated effort to build a better, inclusive and peace and prosperous future by 2030. Okay, let's move on to the next slide here. We'll quickly touch upon a few elements of the site projects, few examples, and before we discuss about how you can contribute. We support the three categories of projects under site. One is new technology development, and the second one is about new technology deployment for underserved community. Third one is technology policy. Please remember that many of these projects are backward driven. This is not top down. Rather, you must have a clearly targeted community, and the needs of the community is the primary driving force for your project. Thirdly, this projects has to be between like any I mean, typically they are less than 12 months, and you have to demonstrate the engagement of your local community, and possibly if you have good partnerships as well, we want to make sure it's well defined boundary in terms of the roles and responsibilities of your partners. These are some guidelines on what a successful site programs looks like. There are four elements here. As I said, the biggest thing is the community here, because that needs essentially drives your program. And then partnership, and then we really want you to have a well defined technology plan, right? And then we want to make sure there's a reasonable budget, and there is a clearly defined metrics here to measure the success of your program. And then there should be a sustainable plan in place, like after you deliver the program to the community, how the community observes the program and how the program continues to grow within the by the community. Okay, let's take some examples here. There are four examples here. You can see here how diversify here. The first one talks about how the site members are leveraging or installing solar panels in a local park so that the children in the local neighborhood can continue to benefit using the park even after hours. Second project we'll talk about a little bit more. Very impressive project in Uganda, where our volunteers are installing solar technology in a local healthcare center. So this actually provides enables to provide 24/7 electricity supply to this healthcare center. In turn, it's enabling the local doctors and the patients to have extended period of healthcare access availability. Third one is about a project where our volunteers were involved in providing internet facility to marginalized population in Canada. So this has enabled us to connect the unconnected there. The last one talks about empowering our farmers to make them to leverage the right technological tools so that they could increase their yield and in turn contribute towards the zero hunger goal. So all this thing clearly demonstrate one thing. It's basically solving a problem which is critical to the SDGs, and also our members are putting their technical skills into action here to solve these grander challenges. A little bit more information. These the group that we spoke about, the site group we spoke about in Uganda, you can see here how the members are actually installing the solar panels in the local healthcare center. And you can see here, after installing, it has actually increased in the inflow of patients. Actually, like they're getting almost like 25 patients per day. Before the project, it was negligible because people were a little scared to go in the evening because there's no electricity, and they were worried for the safety. Now this problem has helped us to build a good solution, which in turn can help to increase the access to quality healthcare solutions and facilities. Another glittering example of how volunteers have leveraged the emerging needs and how they transform a challenge into innovation here. This is again from South Africa, where IEEE volunteers came together and they understood the emerging demands and the understanding, and the need to have a dashboard which will enable the local governmental and non-governmental organizations to understand the various needs and trends of the pandemic in the local neighborhood. So they came together, they created a dashboard, and the dashboard kind of like collected the various data points and showed the demand and supply needs of the local neighborhood. And this particular project got about 10,000 views per day, which talks about how this was very critical for various stakeholders in the local in the local community to collect data, to analyze the data, and to transform that analysis into actionable plans. Another example within US, Milo Goran 365. The idea here is the pandemic has impacted some of the marginalized population near Chicago. So here, what the volunteers did was they actually created a hydroponic urban farm. The idea there is to support creation. They wanted to create spices and fresh produce, and then eventually this fresh produce can be delivered to the local community, so that in spite of the pandemic situation, they are continue to address some of the nutritional needs of the local community here. Okay, so I think now let's talk about how this is all what's happening here, right? In a nutshell, we provide this is a world-class program. SIGHT is a world-class program which provides an enriching experience for the volunteer to improve your skill, to go beyond your skill development. And also for the section and for the societies, this provides an attractive mechanism to retain your member, to recruit new members, and in a nutshell, spread your horizons much more than through various portfolio of programs here. Okay, so many of you who are here on the call today, SIGHT membership is absolutely free. You don't even need to be a IEEE member. So go to SIGHT.IEEE.org, register yourself. If you're not part of it, make sure you are part of it. Yeah, if your local section already have a SIGHT group, which in this case for Turkey, we do have it, I would definitely encourage you all, both the women in engineering leadership, women in engineering members, and the SIGHT members to interface and to collaborate more. Again, see what are the projects that's got funded, see how best you could contribute either by participating in a project or by mentoring a project. And if you have a newsletter, make sure that you can send a awareness campaign, creating more visibility among your members to learn about the benefits of these programs. The last one is, attend the webinars, workshops, and even the ILN material what we are offering, and benefit from it, right? I mean, the goal here is collectively as a team, how could we advance technology for the benefit of humanity? So these are some pointers here. I mean, if you're not a site member, as I said, take a look at it. If you are already a site group, then work with your local community, apply for funding this year for a project, and please follow site on the social media platform. And of course, we are here to serve our member to make sure you are successful, because this is a collective journey. Without you, I don't think our journey is meaningful and complete. So we are Nakshal. I am here to serve you all as the global chair for both site and the incoming chair for HAC. So write to us if you need any guidance or any support. So with that said, I again take this moment to thank the organizing committee of Turkey WIE and Turkey WIE section for giving this amazing opportunity to interface with you all. So with that said, I'll stop here, and maybe we have about 15 minutes. I'm happy to take some questions directly from the audience at this point. Tulsi, you are probably muted. Yeah, you are muted probably.
I'm muted.
Tulsi?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry for that. So yeah, I was trying to keep the echo down. So I would like to ask you actually, like, some of the undergraduate students were thinking that, oh, like, we are just the beginners and so on. But when I look at your undergrad project, it wasn't for site, but actually it was in the mind of site. So what can you tell about that one, and
Great question.
what was its effect?
Thank you, Tulsi. Thanks a lot for asking. So, so first of all, looks. So my original when I was a student, my journey with IEEE started as a student involved in developing technological solutions to assist disabled children in India. So my undergrad project was primarily centered around how you leverage AI to help in detecting autism or social or developmental delays in young children. So I don't think IEEE even was doing a lot of humanitarian activities at that point. That probably was one of the first ever project, I could say, early pioneering projects, both within IEEE and outside, inside and outside of IEEE in India, primarily where as a student I was able to develop this technology. So this technology was successfully then rolled out. I mean, I was able to partner with local healthcare centers, and I was able to roll this out, and it was able to basically like bring down the diagnosis time from several months, years in some cases, to a matter of 20 minutes session to a software solution. So within 20 minutes solution, any remote people sitting in any remote corner of the country will be able to leverage the software to find the developmental delays, and then they will be able to initiate the early intervention program. So as a student, this program was very very instrumental for me, because it not only helped me to take a innovative path to go after an unsolved problem and also put my technical skills. It also gave me the kind of experience, like I was able to work with the healthcare providers, I was able to work with students, I mean, doctors, hospitals, parents, right? This was totally a game changer. In fact, that experience was the foundational gave the foundational confidence for me, which in the last 16 years I would say, which helped me to actually lead major global initiatives throughout the globe, in sustainable development space, helped me to win more than 20 global awards. But in a nutshell, it's not the award, it's more about the personal satisfaction that you are bringing in changes in the life of people. In a nutshell, I'm in a way contributing to build a better tomorrow. Maybe someday my two daughters will get benefited by the seeds of the efforts what I'm putting in. So as a student, never stop your creativity, and don't be afraid to fail. I mean, failures are the stepping stones. My first project, everybody it raised the eyebrow for people, said that you are going to fail your undergrad program, because if you are not successful in your project, you are not going to graduate, right? Trust in you, trust in you, because I think every challenge provides the opportunity for innovation, and that's exactly what as a student you should be going after. And it's there's a famous quote, like, You have to dream, and this is your path, this is your journey, and nothing should stop you. And luckily today, there's more awareness, there's more avenues now, there's more possibility. So think about the possibilities. Don't confine your thinking. You are like you're just starting as an undergrad student. That's about site, right? I mean, being part of site, you don't you get to have a template now, exposed to a template now, right? You can learn how people are doing the projects. You can get mentored, and then you can find the good people from academia as well as from industry to serve as mentors. So there are a lot of rich resources and opportunities. In fact, I would love to be a student again. I mean, apart from being a lifelong student, there's a lot more opportunities right now, so go out and leverage them. Now, specifically on site front, we also provide $750 for if you're a student. In general, if you're a site member, you have done work, you want to go for a conference, there is a conference participation program provided by HAC. We also have collaboration with the epics and IEEE. So these are some of the areas where I think you will be able to participate and get benefited directly. So I would say, Tunsar, at this point, this experience in a nutshell was very, very foundational for me. In instilling a stronger confidence, and also like helped me throughout my career to build up my leadership skill. So that's what I would say.
Yeah. So, and another question would be, we already mentioned this one, but the IEEE's global reach. Like now, I have actually a photo of you in front of me. It is from the 2019 IEEE Power of Africa conference, where you were actually in Nigeria. So, what was the you mentioned some of them, but the most interesting projects in your mind that you see from the site that actually different countries, different experiences can bring together and then
Right.
create new.
Right. So that's the beauty, right? And I mean, I listed some of the projects here. Next year we have 100 projects, so I'm pretty sure we are going to have a portfolio of solutions available for everyone to take a look at it. So some of the projects I would call out here. I mean, one, we spoke about the Uganda, and there is a project in Neopanda, and again in Uganda, where they are trying to put technology to help to monitor the neonatal issues for a newborn. What are the health metrics you can monitor, and how you could support the local team, right? And then the other end, with the COVID, we have amazing projects where people are trying to provide connectivity to the local schools, remote schools, and train them in India. And there are other projects like the one I called out, where people were leveraging robotic solutions to dispense sanitation, because probably in the crowded areas, they created machine learning solutions to monitor and enforce contact tracing. you know so I think it's a wide spectrum, because the beauty here is we are not limiting people. We are encouraging people to go beyond their horizons. So you can be like a computer engineer, electrically, it does not matter. But if the need is for water, then basically you work with the community, and you can even put a borewell, you know to actually like provide good quality water to the local community. So it is very, very, very flexible, and we want to really empower. And by empowering our volunteers to come back understanding the needs, this has created a huge spectrum of social innovations for this program. So I would say, like, even a few years back, there was a project for specifically to address the needs of refugees in camps in region 8. And that I think was an interesting project. There are many such projects. So I think every project is it's very unique. And it's not to say like one project is superior than others, because every project in a nutshell is addressing a key shortcoming within their local community, and it's a impact, it's a change maker, right? So this is like these are catalysts across the globe. So yeah.
Yeah. Uh, Maybe it is my mistake, but like, is there maybe a YouTube channel and so on where the people talk after their projects about the successes and probable failures and
Great.
so on? Because like what I checked like region 8 Facebook and so on. Like there was a one interesting project in Germany I'm trying to connect them because like we can learn from them and maybe implement it in Turkey or improve it and so on. But what would you think about such an
Great.
work? Yeah.
Great. So Tunja, you touched upon two different aspects here. So one is, how do we systematically promote knowledge of sharing of knowledges among this project groups, right? So this year we have created something called as community of practice for the COVID. So that means we looked into all the 250 proposals. We thought, okay, some of these projects are falling under certain category. So we put them into common community of practice. So the idea behind the community of practice is that senior IEEE members are leading that, so that that particular group will provide a community or a forum for people working under similar category of problem to come together to learn about their best practices, the challenges they have faced, the lessons they have learned. So this has been done this year. Regarding the video, we do have some videos, but I think next year we want to provide a systematic process where we will be able to motivate our member to more share it. So I think this is still in nascent stage, but I would say like you will hear more about some of this platforms and process in early next year, because the HAC committee is still being like vetted out our plans. So I think you will hear more in January, I would say. But if you are specific to connect with Germany, I think it is Dr. Chris and his team who are spearheading the project in Germany. I think
Yeah.
I'll be happy to interface you both. And if you are
Wonderful.
specifically looking for any additional information, write to us, and I'll be able to connect you to the relevant team locally in Region 8.
Thank you very much. And also, I believe that actually you are not against of like joint projects between couple of site groups as well. Like
No,
that
we
can be
really
done.
want. Yeah. But remember, one thing I would like to call out though, right? We typically discourage parachuting. When I say parachuting, we don't want people from Germany to fly to come to Turkey and do a project. Rather, we
Yeah, no,
want you both to come with a project where
yeah,
we want them to train the volunteers in Turkey, because remember, the entire spirit of site in HEC is local capacity building, right?
Mhm.
We don't want you to give you a fish, rather we want to teach you the art of fishing so you can
Yeah,
catch your own fish, right? So definitely, within the same region, if you are working on similar category of project, why not partner? The more the merrier. But again, make sure that you keep that in mind, like when it comes to the impact, it has to be local. It has to be locally driven by the volunteers, by the local site groups.
yeah,
So that's the model. I feel like resonating well. Think globally but act locally.
act locally. Okay. Well, that's all from my side. I would like to thank you one more time. I know Simai is here, but like if she has a question, she can join us. Let's see. I believe not. Okay. So Sampath, it was a wonderful talk and wonderful advice for the site community of Turkey. And also, I hope that we have many members that will join us and work for a better tomorrow together. I would like to thank you one more time and hope you to see you soon. And then you are going to see some projects from Turkey as well.
Fantastic, Tanzil. Again, appreciation to your team as well as the WA Turkey team for organizing this wonderful event. And to all the audience out there, stay safe and healthy. I think this is a pandemic situation. I think all of us are coming together collectively as one team to handle this. But again, my appreciation goes to you, Tunsar, and especially to Ms. Gordon and then Ms. Sime for inviting me today. Truly enjoyed this interaction today. And again, we are here to serve our volunteers. So if we can be of any support or assistance, write to us, to us, site at IEEE.org, or you can find me in LinkedIn. Happy to support you all in as much as we could. This is about our collective journey together to bring in positive changes. So you can double count on me to provide that kind of support to any volunteer across the globe.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you all.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would like to thank you both as well as IEEE Turkey Women and Engineering Section, Affinity Group, I'm sorry. This is the end of this session, and we have 10 more sessions in previous 4 days. And thank you for coming. This is the end.
Okay, thank you so much.
Bye.
Everybody have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.